Dear friends, in this second session of alternating current, we learn say many derivations along with some definitions as we said. Say in the last session, we mentioned what is called as say phase. We start from that and then we learn how to represent the AC and phase difference, all those things. Say in the last session we learned what is called as phase. Phase is fraction of time period elapsed from the beginning. Fraction of time period elapsed from the beginning. Observe here, say if I write a waveform, this is time, this is the voltage or current you can write. Say this is the graph what we get there. And here, observe as we said yesterday, this is 0 or in the previous class, say it is 0, it is t by 4, this is t by 2 and this corresponds to 3t by 4, this corresponds to t, like that you can write. Also we have written this with the angles pi by 2, pi, 3 pi by 2 or 2 pi, it goes like this. These values t by 4 fraction of time period, any value there is what we call as phase as we said yesterday. But in AC circuits very important is phase difference. Phase difference means you take two AC quantities, say voltage and current. What is their phase and how they are different in phase? Say for example, for this if I write the current like this in this graph, if I write the current like this, say observe this dotted curve, this is the current. This blue color line, this is current and this is voltage. Observe, when current is, voltage is 0, current is maximum. When voltage is maximum, current is 0. There is a time gap in attaining the maximum and minimum between voltage and current. This is what we call as phase difference. Phase difference. This is what we call as phase difference. Say here in fact strictly speaking, if we imagine this started somewhere here, for this it is pi by 2. For blue, that is current phase at 0 time is pi by 2. For voltage it is 0. Therefore, phase difference we usually denote by delta, pi by 2 minus 0, that is pi by 2 phase difference. So, here we say current is ahead of the voltage because when current is 0, say when voltage is 0, current is already started and it is almost at time t by 4 ahead. So, this is what we call as phase difference. How much ahead or how much trailing, how much it is going forward or trailing behind. That is what we call as phase difference. In fact, we can represent phase difference between two AC quantities in many form. Say before taking the to represent phase difference, we learn another way of representing the AC. AC can be represented as a rotating vector which rotates in the anti-clockwise direction with respect to x-axis in the coordinate system. Say we write that. Any AC quantity can be represented as a vector where this is x-axis, this is y-axis, and a rotating vector whose magnitude is equal to the peak value of voltage or current, here I am representing voltage, and makes an angle theta which is equal to omega t with respect to x-axis, and the sense of rotation is anti-clockwise from x towards y. This is the way in which we represent an AC, voltage or current or many other factors regarding AC. So, very important idea is AC quantities can be represented as a vector which rotates in the anti-clockwise direction with respect to x-axis, and also the magnitude of that vector is always equal to the peak value, and the instantaneous value is given by the projection of that vector onto y-axis or onto x-axis. That's how we represent AC as a vector. By using this, we learn how to represent phase difference in different forms. We start with that one by one. Observe carefully here. First of all, in the form of equation, to represent phase difference in delta in equation form. First, equation form. That is, say, equation means if you write V, I am writing for that figure, V equals V naught or Vm sin omega t. And I, for that I write I naught sin omega t plus pi by 2 radians, because it started pi by 2 times angle earlier, or t by 4 we can write. So this is how we write. And same thing can be written in sentence form. How? Say V is having short of pi by 2, I is extra. Therefore, I write the current I leads V by pi by 2 radians. This is another way of sentence way. I leads V by pi by 2 radians. Or the other way around also. V lags behind. Observe, it is trailing behind. Lags behind I by pi by 2 radians. This is another way. Say sentence manner and in equation form. And also in vector form also we can represent. In vector form. Vector form. Say in vector form we write y and x axis, and if we write, say, this as our V, then where should be the I? At 90 degree to this in the anti-clockwise direction, this way, I write. This is I. The angle between them is 90. This tells us I is ahead of V by 90 degree. This can be written in any quadrant. If you take V here, I will come here. If you take I here, V will come here. So these are the ways in which we represent phase difference. By using all these things, we start deriving equations. We start learning AC circuits. We start one by one. Just observe. There are 4 circuits to be learnt. First 3 are independent. Fourth is combination of all these 3. So first one, what happens when we apply AC to a pure resistance? AC applied to a pure resistance. So what is that? I write the circuit. This is the resistance and this is the AC source. Observe, AC source is indicated in a circle with a wavy line. This is the circuit. And we applied AC voltage V0 sin omega t. Current I is passing, R is the resistance. But what do you mean by pure resistance? Pure resistance means many times resistance are created by using nichrome wire coil or manganese wires. Once we wind the coils, once we wind the coils of specific length to produce specific resistance, there may be inductance effect because of the coiling. So when we say pure resistance, no such effects are there. It is only pure resistance, no inductance, no capacitance, no other effects. That's what we mean by pure resistance. Now we start finding the current in this circuit. In fact, in all the 3 or all the 4 circuits, we assume the V and we try to find out the current. And then we compare current and voltage for the phase difference. So we start with that. Say one more thing. Ohm's law is valid for both DC circuits and AC circuits. Here also I can apply Ohm's law. According to Ohm's law, I equals V by R from Ohm's law. From Ohm's law, I equals V by R. But for V, I substitute V naught sin omega t by R. But we can rearrange the terms like this, V naught by R into sin omega t. But observe, V naught by R I can call it as I naught sin omega t. I write where I naught is V naught by R. This is the idea. Now, if that is the case, compare now V naught sin omega t equation 1 with equation 2. V naught sin omega t, I naught sin omega t. There is nothing extra with omega t after sin. That means both of them are in phase. That means as voltage goes to maximum, current also goes to maximum. As voltage comes to minimum, current also comes to minimum. We write that. So, according to equation we represented, sentence wise there is no phase difference. There is no phase difference between I and V. That means they go hand in hand. So that means if we represent it in the form of a waveform, V R I and T I write. Say current voltage I write in green color, it goes, this is voltage, and the current I write in blue color. Observe, both of them, this blue is I, both of them, current and voltage, attains maximum simultaneously, zero simultaneously, minimum simultaneously, it goes. This is what we mean by they are in phase. Now, we write the vector diagram. This type of vector diagrams are called as phasor diagrams. We write phasor diagram. For this case, phasor diagrams. In fact, these phasor diagrams are very important to analyze the FM radio reception in engineering. And many places we use phasor diagrams to learn about the physics of the situations. So that is an important idea of phasor diagram. Now we write for this situation. For phasor diagram, say I take this as y-axis and this as x-axis, and I draw the voltage here. As they are in the phase, they go hand in hand. The current is also on the same line, covering the same angle at the given time, and both of them are turning in the anti-clockwise direction. This is what happens when we apply AC to a pure resistance. In the same manner, we need to learn what happens when we apply AC to a pure inductance, that is coil, and then pure capacitance also. Now we proceed on to pure inductance. But before that, we just think about the power dissipated in the resistance R. In fact, average power is P, which is equal to average of say Im square sin square omega t into R. This is the power expression, and we know this Im square is constant by R, and sin square omega t average over the full cycle, as we have seen, sin square omega t average over full cycle is half only. Therefore, average power is Im square R by 2. This we do by integration. Sin square omega t, as we did in case of say root mean square value, So it is only half. Average power is Im square R by 2. This is the power dissipated in resistance, whether say when we apply the AC. Now we go for the next circuit. AC applied to pure inductance, pure coil or pure inductance. We go for it now. Step by step we go in the same manner. Again we arrive at what is the relation between current and voltage as far as phase is concerned. We do all those things now. In the next derivation we go for it now. Just observe. I take up a coil, inductance L, and we apply AC to this. AC is again V naught sin omega t, and current I is flowing there. So what is the, say I, when we apply voltage V? For that we know, according to Faraday's law, V plus E equals 0, because E is the induced EMF in the coil, V is the applied voltage, that should be equal to 0. But we know, as far as inductance is concerned, E is minus L di by dt, minus L di by dt. We substitute there, V minus L di by dt equals 0, or V equals L di by dt. Therefore, observe, what we want is current expression. We rearrange the terms. V by L dt equals di. Now, if we integrate this, we get current expression. So, integrating di V by L dt. Now, we substitute everything. Integral of di is I 0 to V, V naught sin omega t dt by L. Take out the constants there, V naught by L sin omega t dt. It is from 0 to t we go for, general time, at any instant. So V naught by L, we know integral of sin is cos omega t by omega 0 to t. Therefore, we can write V naught by omega L and minus cos omega t after applying the integral says limits. I finally is V naught by omega L minus cos omega t can be written as sin of omega t minus pi by 2. Sin of omega t minus pi by 2. If we expand this sin omega t minus pi by 2 as sin of a minus b, we will get minus cos omega t. That is why we have written it. Here it is not like allied angle. We are taking omega t as the reference, we are adding plus pi by 2 or minus pi by 2. Therefore, once we expand this as sin of a minus b, we will get minus cos omega t. Therefore, observe carefully. V naught by omega L, we call it as I naught. Therefore, I equals I naught sin omega t minus pi by 2. This is the expression for current in the pure inductance circuit. Here also, what do you mean by pure inductance? No resistance, nothing, only inductance effect. That is why we call it as pure inductance, and that is the expression. Let me go through the derivation once again. Observe, we have a inductance of Henry, L Henry, applied with AC voltage, V equals V naught sin omega t. And if E is the induced EMF at any instant, we can write the equation using Kirchhoff's law, V plus E equals 0. Remember, Kirchhoff's laws are applicable and Ohm's law is also applicable for AC also. Okay. V plus E equals 0, but E we know from previous chapter minus L di by dt, where L is inductance of the coil. So if we substitute there and rearrange, V equals L di by dt, but di is V by L dt, or integral of di is V by L dt. Say, observe, I equals V naught, we substitute for V naught sin omega t dt by L, and we take out V naught by L, 0 to t sin omega t dt, V naught by L. If we integrate sin omega t, we get minus cos omega t by omega 0 to t. and V naught by omega we took outside omega L minus cos omega t. Minus cos omega t can be expressed in sine as sin omega t minus pi by 2. So, we got finally by calling V naught by omega L as I naught sin omega t minus pi by 2. Now, we compare equation 1, that is voltage equation, with the current equation. Observe, voltage equation is having, I write for the sake of clarity, here only the voltage equation, this is our equation 1. Say, observe, here omega t matches only current with minus pi by 2. That means current is trailing behind the voltage. Voltage is ahead. Therefore, we can express the phase difference in sentence like this. Voltage leads current by pi by 2 radians. Pi by 2 radians. Or other way around, I lags behind V by pi by 2 radian. This is the sentence way. Now we go for the phasor diagram as we did. Say phasor diagram I write here. Just observe. This is our y axis. This is our x axis. Phasor diagram. That means voltage leads current by pi by 2. If I write the current here, then voltage to be written ahead of this in the anti-clockwise direction. This is 90 degree. You can write here also or here also, but one way is enough. This is the phasor diagram for the IAC applied to pure inductance. With these basic ideas, now we proceed on to one more idea here in this inductance. Say, observe I naught equals V naught by omega L. We think over that and we go for the idea now. Just observe. I take this. I naught is V naught by omega L, or omega L is V naught by I naught. Observe, V naught by I naught, the right hand side shows it is a resistance, but we cannot take it as resistance because resistance does not depend on frequency. Here omega is there. As you know, omega is 2 pi f. The angular frequency is dependent on the frequency. Therefore, it is not resistance. This type of oppositions, V naught by I naught, which depends on the, which depends on the frequency, are called as reactances. Reactance, we call that as reactance, and denoted by X. Here, as it is reactance of inductance, I denote it by L. XL. L stands for inductive reactance or reactance offered by inductance, and it is omega L. Or if we substitute for omega 2 pi f, we can write it as 2 pi f L. Now, we go for the graphical representation of XL versus frequency. But before that, observe, what is the unit of reactance? It's also ohms because V naught by I naught, ohms only. But only thing, it depends on the frequency. That's why you call it as reactance. XL equals 2 pi f L. To write it as a graph, I take it like this, 2 pi L into f. I want to draw a graph of XL, inductive reactance, versus frequency. Observe what type of graph you can expect. This is y and this is x. So, this is of form y equals mx. That means it should be a straight line passing through the origin. I write. This is the graph. And what is the slope of this graph gives you? Observe carefully. Slope of this graph gives us what? Can you think of from this? This is the slope. This is XL or delta XL if you want, and this one delta F, change in frequency, delta X by delta F is nothing but m, the slope from this graph, it is 2 pi, from this equation it is 2 pi L, m, instead of m we have 2 pi L there. So, it is the slope of the XL versus frequency graph. So, with these things. Now we proceed on to the AC applied to pure capacitance. Say for this class, I conclude this class here. Next, in the next session, we continue for pure capacitance and all the three: inductance, capacitance, reactance, combined circuit, that is called as LCR series circuit. We learn those two and relevant facts there. For the time being, I conclude it here.